Welcome to the Waterboy and Equipment Manager podcast. My name is Saif Basaria.
My name is Shaban
I'm
Samani.
Case Sharanya.
The sniping is back. Welcome, listener. You are listening to this episode, hopefully, when it drops, on the day that the NBA restarts. The NBA restarts in like less than 6 hours from when you'll first hear this episode. It's exciting. It has not clearly been that long, but it feels like it's actually been quite some time, which is a little weird. And it has been for most of the basketball teams, which is an exciting time. Before we move on, let's go ahead and plug the socials because Kays always goes after me when I don't, and I definitely should be better about it. Kays, where are we at on Instagram and Twitter?
A lot easier for this time, though.
Damn straight.
WBEM pod everywhere.
Yep, WBEM pod everywhere. On YouTube, it is the Waterboy and Equipment Manager podcast. And that's where you could find us, listener.
We're back on TikTok, by the way.
Kays is managing the TikTok, which could be really fun or maybe not. I don't know. We'll find out. We're going to find out together, listener. Obviously, like I said, the NBA kicks off on Tuesday. And we start off with some interesting matchups. Shaban, do you know the matchups off rip, or do I need to pull them up?
On opening night?
Yes.
So we got the Nets and the Warriors. So KD against his former team in KD's first game in, what was it, like 500 days, something like that?
Jeez.
Long ass time. And we got, I think it's the Clippers and the Lakers, right?
You don't think you know what this is. It's time to lift the banner and hand out the rings, none of which, by the way, are actually ready. I don't think we're going to see a handout of rings on opening night, which is a bit funny and unfortunate at the same time. I think the banner is ready, so they'll probably lift the banner. And then that'll be it. So, yeah, opening night, like Shaban talked about, we've got two good matchups. I'm very excited. And then on Wednesday, literally every other team in the league is playing, which is, again, really exciting to me. So today what we're going to do is we're actually going to go back to our allegedly style of talking about hoops, and we're going to talk about some of our favorite picks, allegedly money-wise or gambling-wise for, MVP, Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, Sixth Man, Most Improved. We're going to talk about all those things in the episode today, and then we'll probably highlight a couple of games that we look forward to in opening week of basketball, the first Sunday of hoops. So let's start off with Most Improved Player of the Year, boys. This is obviously based on who we actually like to win the award, but also based on kind of the odds, and we feel like this is a little bit too low of a price or a really good price for a certain player. Kay, start us off. Most Improved Player of the Year. Who are you feeling, and what are the numbers we're looking at?
I mean, I like Michael Porter Jr. to blow up this year. He's at a plus 1,000, so it's a nice penny. But if you're looking for bigger prize money, you go Kobe White at 1,600.
I like that one a lot.
Or maybe even Cam Reddish at a nice plus 3,000. But the Hawks have new people everywhere, so we don't know how it's going to go.
I think Kobe White is one that will ring true for a lot of people. Shaban, I know you have Kobe White as well. What are the other ones that you've got?
Yeah, I got Kobe White. He's like probably my second choice, but I feel like Jaren Jackson Jr. Coming off from injury in the bubble, I think that he can really really just have his game explode this season, and it'll be really fun. And also he's plus 2,500, so make a nice little buck there. Also, Tyler Hero, he's probably expected to get. Hey. He's expected to probably have a bigger spot in the rotation. So like only natural because he played so well in the playoffs and in the finals in the bubble. So he will probably get a lot more. Like he'll probably get a lot more touches. So it's only natural that he is I'd say he's a pretty good bet, and he's plus 2,000. So I'd say he's pretty nice to me.
I mean, look, the cool thing about Tyler Hero, yeah, I personally am not a big fan of the bet, but at 2,000, it's a good value. And the big thing with Tyler Hero is he could quite easily be the second leading scorer on the Miami Heat this year in the regular season. It absolutely could happen. So why the hell not? He's good. They're gonna give him a green light to shoot. He proved a lot as a rookie. For me, my number one pick is Jamal Murray at plus 1,200, and the reason being is the Jamal Murray that we remember, listener, is the one from the bubble and from the playoffs who was a absolute beast. But the Jamal Murray of last season actually only averaged 18.5 points per game, 4 assists and 4 rebounds. That is the Jamal Murray of old. Jamal Murray has shown us he's a different beast. And we're going to see that this regular season. He could jump from 18 and a half to 23, 24, maybe even 25 points a game. I still don't think he'll be the best player on his team because obviously Jokic. But he could take a real step up, and that's going to mean a lot for the Nuggets. The next up is Ja Morant at plus 2,000. It's a little bit harder, in my opinion, for a sophomore to win this, but at 2,000, it might be worth it. And then De'Aaron Fox is a real sleeper at plus 3,300. He just got the bag. He's on a team that has playoff hopes and aspirations. He is healthy. I think he'll be good. And so that's my 3 picks. But Jamal Murray is definitely my number 1 choice for this one. Moving on. 6th man of the... Actually, let's do Coach of the Year because 6th man could actually be an interesting conversation we could talk about. Let's go to Coach of the Year. What do we think about Coach of the Year? Shaban, what are your thoughts? And I know your biases will come as a factor in this one. But maybe rightfully so. Defend yourself, please.
So I picked Rick Carlisle as my first choice, and my Mavs bias over here. But also, Rick Carlisle has, if there's one thing Rick Carlisle is really known for, it's bringing out the best in even the most even his most depleted lineups. I think remember it was like mid 2010s. He had this really bad lineup of like Darren Collison and like OJ Mayo, I think, and that somehow took that team to like a 50-win team. It was crazy. Like no one expected, and it was also like Dirk was like a couple of years away from retiring.
Was it Darren
eventually.
Collison or Darren Williams?
Oh, I think it was Darren Williams. Yeah. So
Darren Williams.
Yeah. So coming into the season without Porzingis like ready to go, he'll probably be out until mid-January. So this will be a real test for Rick Carlisle. It'll be a real challenge, and with a potential MVP candidate and Luka Doncic as his right-hand man, it could really just the Mavs could really flex their muscles a little bit under Rick Carlisle's stewardship.
So with Rick Carlisle specifically, sorry listeners, Shaban is new to this allegedly thing that we do on the podcast. Rick Carlisle's odds are plus 1,000. But Shaban, just give me a quick synopsis or a base. What do the Mavs have to achieve, in your opinion, in the Western Conference for Rick Carlisle to be a legit contender for this award?
I would say that they would probably have to make a huge jump to, they were the 7th seed last season, so they probably have to be like the 3rd or the 2nd seed even, at least.
And without KP, do you feel like that's real? Like that's a legit possibility here?
I feel like it's doable. I really do. I think Luka is just gonna take his game he's just getting another year older, another year wiser. So and also the Mavs did improve in the offseason with the additions of Josh Richardson and James Johnson. So I think that it's really doable that the Mavericks could make a huge jump this season.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about another pick, or are you good with Rick Carlisle?
So I also had Brad Stevens. The Celtics are
odds. What are the odds?
The odds are plus 1,600.
Thank you, sir.
And, same situation. The Celtics are facing what's looking like a really loaded Eastern Conference. We got the Nets, the Bucks, the Miami Heat, and the Toronto Raptors is also looking stronger than ever. So Boston will really need to find a way to separate themselves from the pack. And that's why I picked Brad Stevens, because this will be a huge testament if he's able to pull this off. So keep Boston in that top tier championship level contender.
That's fair. Kays, I can see your biases played a role in maybe your choice here as well. So talk to me. What do you pick for Coach of the Year, my guy?
There's no bias here.
I'm sure that's the truth.
But the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets, Steve Nash, at a plus 800, could be a steal. He's got KD and Kyrie, and they were the 9 seed last year, and they lost the play-in game. So you never know, from the 9 seed to a top 4 seed, first-year head coach.
Brooklyn was the 7 seed, bro. They were the 7 seed in the first round. They got beat up by the Raptors. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
In, I believe, 5 games or 4 games?
But even then,
they got beat up.
7 seed to the fucking top 3 team in the East, first-year head coach. He might get the nod. But, you also got – I love this guy too. He's Eric Spoelstra for the Miami Heat at plus 1,000.
That was my choice.
They showed out in the bubble. And, they'll be great this year too. Same team pretty much. They added a few good pieces. And let's see what development does for Spo. Maybe they get back up there.
Yeah, I chose Eric Spoelstra as well at plus 1,000. We've talked about it, I think, in absurd amount of times on this podcast. Miami Heat are a good basketball team. They're the best conditioned team in basketball. They play really hard. They just have a different mindset than a lot of teams. So plus 1,000 for Eric Spoelstra. And by the way, with him going to the finals last year, and a lot of people talking about, oh, wait, how do we forget about Eric Spoelstra as like a top 3 or top 5? He wasn't nationally covered as that guy for a little bit there. And so this might just be a let's give him his roses while he's still this good kind of moment. And Eric Spoelstra could be a winner for that reason. Another one is Terry Stotts at plus 2,000 of the Portland Trailblazers. That's a team that has nationally been talked about as a team that is heavily improved in the offseason. They definitely have gotten better in the offseason. If they end up as a maybe 3 or 4 seed in the West, which is probably hard to do, but definitely within the realm of possibility, plus 2,000 for Terry Stotts is definitely a reachable milestone if they end up as a top 3 or 4 seed, like I said, in the Western Conference. That's kind of the flyer that I would like to go with, Terry Stotts. I like that one a lot. Now we can jump and talk about Sixth Man of the Year. It seems like an award that Lou Will has won one too many times and didn't win it last year. There's a lot of Lou Will fatigue, it felt. And so now we talk about different guys. And so this year for me, I took Jordan Clarkson. He's one of the favorites to win the award. He's at plus 500, which is actually not considered that good. But Jordan Clarkson is definitely a guy that I liked. He did some really awesome things for the Jazz off the bench. He is absurdly important for the Jazz off the bench, and he got paid because the Jazz clearly think he's an important player. And so he is one that I liked a lot. Another was Dennis Schroeder for the Lakers at 1,200. He is obviously going to be an awesome scoring threat for the Lakers off the bench. There's a lot of reports, including him himself, saying he would like to start. LeBron is the best point guard in basketball because he decides to play point guard. So for as long as LeBron James plays point guard, Dennis Schroeder might be able to finish games, but starting games, I don't think so much. So he's in the running for sixth man. And another one I picked that's actually unlisted. Hopefully they give him odds at some point in the near future, but Karis LeVert is my choice for sixth man of the year as well. His odds are unlisted because I guess he's projected to be a starter, but the Nets actually haven't started him through the preseason. They started Kyrie, Dinwiddie, and Joe Harris at the 1, 2, and 3 with KD and DeAndre. So Karis LeVert's usually the first guy off the bench. And a guy like Karis LeVert who can score 30 a night off the bench is definitely a guy who could easily win sixth man of the year if he so wanted to do so. And so hopefully he gets some odds listed soon because I think he's going to be a really, really good pick for sixth man of the year. Shaban, what are your thoughts? Sixth man of the year?
Well, you pretty much hit your points on Jordan Clarkson. I also had him as my first choice. I also have, but you mentioned Karis LeVert. I actually had Spencer Dinwiddie.
Interesting.
And like Spencer Dinwiddie is supposed to be the lead guy to come in after Kyrie, and we saw what Spencer Dinwiddie could do when Kyrie was out, when he took over the starting spot for that team. He played very outstanding. Actually, I thought he was really going to get. I thought he was really going to get paid. But
he's got one more year left on the deal. He absolutely could get paid this summer.
Yeah, and I'm looking at like sort of his projections right now, and like him coming off the bench for Kyrie would be pretty monumental. But I guess that is dependent on whether or not Brooklyn actually benches him or actually starts him at the 2, like you said. So it's kind of like really hit or miss with this bet. My third choice was Montrezl Harrell because won sixth man of the year last year, and he is probably going to be coming off the bench for the Lakers. Definitely. But he's still going to be on the floor for a very long time. I assume they're going to have that AD at the 5 lineup a lot. So having Montrezl Harrell spend a lot of time with Anthony Davis on the floor, I think he's got probably the best shot to actually win Most Improved.
See, when I was
or sixth man of the year, my bad.
Yeah, you're good. When I picked Dennis Schroeder and you picked Montrez, I saw it actually on the doc, and it made me think: is there a chance in reality, right, that both those guys are really good off the bench, like Lou Will and Montrez, but maybe around that level? So much so that they cannibalize each other's votes and then neither one of them wins. Chaba, do you think that's a realistic possibility?
That could happen. It wouldn't be the first time, right? But right. But they could, I don't know if there's a co-winner of Sixth Man of the Year. I don't know if that's ever happened.
Why not? This is the first for everything. Give it
Yeah.
to the whole Lakers bench. How about that? Dudley, you get one too. You get it too. Okay, Sixth Man of the Year. What are you thinking?
I had Clarkson up there as well, but I think Davis Bertans, very good chance he's not starting. He got paid this year, and he'd be monumental off the bench. That outside shooter Russ can dish to pretty much every play, and he's automatic from three. I think he shot over 40% last year. And then, I'm going to throw my Laker into the mix.
Of course.
At plus 4,000, just secured the $40 million bag. Kyle Kuzma.
Congratulations.
And another player, again, off the Lakers bench who could be awesome and cannibalize more votes.
Just imagine we go 1, 2, 3.
Right? That would be hysterical. But listener, if you take anything away from this, all three of us clearly like Jordan Clarkson. He is currently, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the favorite next to Lou Will as well to win this award. Jordan Clarkson winning it would not shock any of us at all. It's clearly a good pick. Next up is Defensive Player of the Year. This one, the odds for this one actually kind of surprised me. I would say the most of any of the other awards we looked at with Vegas Insider and Bovada and DraftKings and all that stuff. It was kind of weird to me that some of these guys are as low as they are, but shit, I'll take it. I don't care. My number one choice is Joel Embiid is finally going to show his utter dominance this year in the NBA. At plus 1,000, I think he's an absolute steal. Everybody and their mother that watches basketball believes that Joel Embiid is a dominant big man in the NBA. He is one or two, depending on your list. He is an incredible defender. The difference is his fatigue, his lack of effort, and his availability with health and such. Those are definitely big questions, but no one can tell me he's not capable of winning this award, which is why plus 1,000, I think he's a really good price. If the guy stays healthy, why can't he win this award? Plus 1,000 is a really good steal. And another guy who's my flyer of flyers, but he's a guy that's routinely on All-NBA defensive first team or second team for many years running, Marcus Smart. He's another guy that this could be one of those, let's give him his flowers while he's still elite defender style alive kind of thing. Plus 3,000 is a steal for a guy that everyone in the league says is a fantastic on-ball basketball defender. Why can't Marcus Smart win? Those are my two picks. 1,000 and 3,000 for those two guys. Both of them, in my opinion, have a damn good shot to win this thing. Case, talk to me. Defense Player of the Year.
I mean, I'm going to go with the guy who got snubbed last year with Anthony Davis at plus 250.
Well, Vegas seems to agree with you.
They're not great odds, but he should have won last year. And I'm pretty sure he'll do the same this year. And then, I had to put Bam at plus 700 in there. Showed vast improvement last year defending the 1 through 5. And I think he'll get even better this year.
I mean, I think both of those are really good choices. 80 is the odds-on favorite for the listener at home. Plus 250 is, I would say, pretty bad odds, but it's fair considering a lot of people either believed 80 should have. He was 1 or 2, right, in that argument last year, and so that's not ultra shocking that he is ranked as the odds-on favorite to get his roses per se. Shaban, what do you think? Defensive Player of the Year?
So 80 was also my first pick. Plus 250. But all these guys you mentioned are outstanding defenders, which is why I was very weird. I was really weirded out to see Kawhi Leonard and in his odds inflate to plus 3,000, which is weird for someone who is considered to be probably one of the 3 best defenders in the NBA today, next to Giannis and next to AD. So it's really with Kawhi at 3,000, I don't think that you can really ignore that. He can. I mean, yeah, there's the whole questions of load management and will he actually?
That's what I was going to ask you. Why do you think that is? Why do you think plus 3,000 is the number?
Because he played a pretty decent amount of games, even this past season, and coming off I think last season he was still reeling from his ghost injury, but I think this season, especially since he didn't get the point guard that he so wanted in the offseason, he's going to be taking a lot of have to take a lot of responsibilities on both ends of the floor. So I think that he's kind of a sleeper to win Defensive Player of the Year for the 3rd time, I believe.
Who, Kawhi?
Is this the third time or the second time?
I don't think he's ever
I
won.
don't think he's
Defensive Player-
ever won.
He's never won Defensive Player of the Year.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure he's won Defensive Player of the Year one
He's
time.
never
Oh
won.
no,
I'm
he
looking
didn't.
it up.
Yeah, Giannis has won it twice. Or no, Giannis has only won it once as well. Rudy Gobert has
Yeah.
2 of them. But Defensive Player of the Year, I think, has a little bit to do with. I mean, a lot of. Let's be honest, all of these have to do.
Oh no, Kawhi has won it twice.
Really? What years were those? Jeez, I can't.
14, 15, and 15, 16.
Wow. My apologies, Shaman.
Yeah.
You're clearly right about it. My bad, bro. My bad.
So third time. All right. Yeah. That's
So
what I said.
the record amount is a tie actually
What is it?
between Dikembe Mutombo and Ben Wallace.
What
3
is
in a
what is
row?
that number?
Or 4 in a row.
4.
That's what's up. Okay. Cool. Let's move on to the Rookie of the Year. We have discussed ad nauseum that this rookie class is deep with a lot of guys who can be good eventually in their careers, but some of them are going to get the chance to be really good right now. And so this Rookie of the Year, for me at least, the way I see it, is who is going to get the opportunity and usage rate to be good. Truly, and LaMelo Ball is the odds-on favorite at plus 400. It is also my choice because I think that the Charlotte Hornets are going to give him the keys and say, go. I really do believe that. And I think he's going to be good enough, right? I mean, look, if he goes, let's say 15 points a game, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, that's a really good rookie year and could be enough for him to win the damn thing personally, with maybe a steal in there because he's got long, long arms. The second one is one that, funny enough, I don't really love the prospect of the player. I think he's a good player. I think he'll become a good player in the NBA. I just personally didn't love it. But Obi Toppin at plus 700. And the reason is very simple. Obi Toppin has been really good in the preseason. He will continue to get opportunity in the regular season, and he's in New York. So if he's good, the stories about him will be positive, and he will be in national media a lot. And that could generally be enough to win the Rookie of the Year award if he's good enough. If he's doing, again, 15 points and maybe 8 rebounds and another couple assists or so, it could be enough for Obi Toppin to win the award. He has been, by many experts, lauded as one of the more NBA-ready prospects. It could be his award just based on experience alone, potentially. Shaban, what are your thoughts? Rookie of the Year.
So I also had Obi Toppin, but he wasn't my first choice like yours. My first choice was the number 1 overall pick of this year's draft, Mr. Anthony Edwards. And I promise this is not UGA bias.
Well, explain it, because I have a couple questions that I want to ask about Anthony Edwards, but explain why you think he would be the favorite for you to win Rookie of the Year.
I probably wouldn't have picked him before the preseason started. I probably would have picked LaMelo Ball, and I mean, for good reason, for him also in the preseason. He looks really NBA ready. But seeing Anthony Edwards develop into kind of a two-way threat, he's not afraid to shoot it, and he's very confident in his scoring ability, and also he's pretty good at defense. Like I saw him lock up Luka.
I saw one clip of him locking up Luka, and it was over.
He's tenacious. I will give you that. I don't know if he's a good defender, but he's definitely like.
It was not
energetic.
Great defense. That was a regular season flagrant foul, bro.
Luka might be getting those calls sooner than later. But yeah, no. So my question to you, Shaban, is in Minnesota, there seems to be a lot of mouths to feed, right? They've got obviously D'Angelo Russell and Malik Beasley, who they recently paid. They've got Ricky Rubio. They've got Jared Culver, Josh Okogie. There's a lot of guys, obviously Anthony Edwards, because you've talked about him. There's a lot of guys that can play that 1 and 2 position for them in Minnesota. And that's kind of my concern is, will he have enough play time, enough usage, enough shots, or enough effort and time on the court to win the award? That was kind of my question mark, which is kind of why I don't think he's the odds-on favorite in Vegas's perspective. But can you explain to me what he has to do, in your opinion, to win this award?
He has to really develop into like a combo guard that he can slot in, that they can slot into either the 1 or the 2 position. They would probably want to slot him into the 1, like if they want to have D'Lo run plays off ball. So, and also it's like seeing him like continue to develop on the defensive end as well. Also, get like shot percentages needs to go up a little bit more. He's a high volume shooter, but he needs to actually make them. Which is like a consistent theme, like even in back when he was still in Georgia. He needs to, build up strength, continue to attack the rim, and get easy opportunities. And, it's not like that far out the window that Anthony Edwards, if he does all those things, he can't be rookie of the year.
That's fair. I just appreciate you not picking LaMelo Ball because I know I did, and I know, Case, who are you picking, man?
I picked LaMelo Ball, like straight up. He looked fantastic in the preseason, and he's only going to get better as time goes on. But my second pick, I went Isaac Okoro from Cleveland at plus 1,800.
Solid.
He played very well in the preseason as well. And, I called him going to Cleveland, so that helps. But even with the talent they have in Cleveland, they do need that 3-guard or forward, I guess.
Yeah.
And looks like he's the guy.
If I'm being quite honest, he, like you said, has been really good in the preseason. Almost, I would say, surprisingly good because I didn't know too much about Isaac Okoro before coming to the draft. Then we did our draft prep, and I definitely liked him as a prospect. He went a little high in the draft, a little surprising to I think all of us. However, Cleveland,
Yeah, you had a guy going at 6 that went in the second round. Don't talk about people going high.
That's probably fair. But with Isaac Okoro, you're right. He's going to get opportunity. And opportunity might just be enough to win the Rookie of the Year this time around. And then lastly, MVP of the NBA. I think if the Golden State Warriors make the playoffs, which isn't a guarantee, it's not a lock for sure, but they definitely have a shot here. Steph Curry at plus 800 could win this thing.
Lock it in.
I don't know about lock it in, but I feel good about it. I feel really good about Steph Curry winning the MVP. And then another one is, again, another one of those guys who we could give our roses to, per se. Dame Lillard at plus 1,400. If Portland ends up as a 2, 3, 4 seed in the West, which is not out the realm of possibility, Damian Lillard will be a big reason of why that happens. And at plus 1,400, it could be time for Dame to get an MVP award. Again, that's kind of a longer shot here, but at plus 1,400, you can't tell me he's not at least worth a look with those odds. Case, talk to me. What are you thinking?
I mean, yeah, I like Steph Curry. It's easy, but I also like the odds-on favorite.
Yeah.
Luka Doncic at plus 300.
Yeah, you do.
All right, Mr. Mavericks, calm down.
Come on, talk to me. Who's your
think
favorite?
Luka's. Let me finish, then you can go.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Let me finish before you bust. I think Luka made giant steps last year into becoming a superstar, and I think this year could be the year he locks it in for a long time to come. It's fantastic. Hopefully, he's gotten into better game shape so he could keep going the entire game. So we'll see,
That's fair. Shalvan, we know you're picking Luka. We know he's plus 300. Tell me more importantly, what does Luka have to do to win this thing?
He's got to win, right? That's like the big thing. He's got to really bring it home. And last season, he really did struggle making shots in the clutch, bubble aside, and got incredible buzzer beater on the Clippers head aside. But last season he had like 29 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists per game in basketball, like every night. And it was wild. And it's his second year in the league. And now it's going to be his third year. And he's easily the MVP favorite. And, but the thing is, like, he's got to win games. Like, he's got, like, when games are close and they're within like a couple possessions, he's got to pull through.
Yeah. And then I know you chose Luka, and then you also chose Steph Curry. Is that right?
Yeah. Steph Curry for a pretty similar reason. The loss of Klay Thompson is huge. So if Steph Curry can somehow make it, somehow drag this team into the playoffs, being the kind of unfair player, that offensive threat that he is, if we see the Steph Curry of like 2016, where he was unanimous MVP, I don't see how he can't. I don't see how he can't win. And plus 800 is a great deal.
I think so too. So I mean, look, that wraps up our gambling allegedly perspective of who we think could win some of these awards. Let's quickly just take a quick look at this first week. Like I said, basketball starts Tuesday. We're going to talk about some of the games that we liked or are looking forward to in that first week. I'm going to tell you right now, Christmas Day, Lakers Mavericks, a bunch of the other games, I'm going to be in front of the TV. All three of us will be in front of the TV from basically noon to midnight watching basketball. So we all look forward to Christmas Day basketball. Let's talk about some of the other games that aren't Christmas Day basketball so that I can get those out the way. For me on Wednesday, the Bucks and the Celtics play. Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern. I think that's going to be a fun game. We get to see Drew Holiday and his brand new team with Giannis and Chris. We get to see the Celtics, who are obviously a contender in the East. I think that will be a very fun basketball game. I do think the Bucks will win. I'm interested to see what the Vegas line will be on that. I'm going to guess somewhere around the realm of 5, maybe 6-ish or so. But remember, no Kemba, so that could really change things up for the Bucks and Celtics game. Shaban, you want to talk about one of the games besides, obviously, like we said, Christmas Day? Is there another game you're looking forward to and excited to watch?
Yeah, literally every other game.
Boo! Be more
No, I'm just
specific.
kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I got the Hawks and the Grizzlies.
Okay.
The Grizzlies last season, with John Morant's rookie season, were a fringe playoff team, even in a loaded Western Conference. So I would like to see, after all the offseason moves that Atlanta has made and how they've looked in the preseason, how DeAndre Hunter has looked in the preseason. He looks like a completely changed man.
Really good.
And I would like to see how they would stack up against a team that's also like trying to battle for the playoffs in the Western Conference.
Definitely. Kays, you got a game, obviously, besides Christmas Day?
The first game of the season, baby. Nets Warriors. The homie Steve Nash going to go up against my MVP favorite, Steph Curry, and the Warriors.
I mean,
Yeah,
look,
I just want to watch Steve Nash on the basketball court again. I don't really care what happens after
I love how
that.
the national media and basketball are excited to watch the Nets because Kevin Durant is back. But my boy Kays is like, no, Steve Nash, coaching debut. I respect it. I genuinely respect it. But look, like Shaban said, we're a basketball podcast.
Priorities, bro.
I was like Shaban said, we're excited to watch basketball. We're a basketball podcast. No shit. We're excited to watch basketball. So, listener, when you come back on the other side of the break, you're going to hear Kays and I. Shaban's actually leaving us in a few minutes here. And Kays and I will be joined by a few different guests, Alikhan Gilani, Aamir Madadali, and Shan Molu, to talk about 2020 sneakers, a year in review. And then the next time we talk to you, we'll have a week of basketball under our arms, and we'll get to talk all about hoops. And I know, listener, you're excited for it. I know we're excited for it on the podcast. So give us 1 second. I'll be after the listener, the sponsor, and we'll be right back. And we're back. And so this week, it felt like, because 2020 is wrapping up and the season, the year is almost over and it's been a hell of a year, it felt like, let's take a look at something we all love, sneakers. And it's been, I think, a pretty awesome year for sneakers. So with us today, we have obviously myself and Kays, as listener you're used to. And then we have Aamir Madadali, who you heard from last week. Welcome back, Aamir.
Thank you.
We've got Alikhan Gilani with us. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for that, Safe. What's up, guys?
And first timer Shan Molu as well, joining us to talk about sneakers. Welcome to the show, man.
Oh man, happy to be here.
So this year, I think, for sneakers has to be, I would say, the year of the dunk. Would anyone disagree with that? It feels like dunks really came back.
Absolutely.
I had that. I told you I had that little notes app. I literally had Year of the Dunk on there.
It definitely feels like dunks came back. What? Yeah. So, I mean, Shan, you wrote it down. So then you start me off here. What do you think brought back the dunk? I have a singular idea in mind, and it could be more than one. It probably is more than one. But what do you have in mind? What brought that back? I mean, the dunks were dead for, 4, 5, 6 years now. It was kind of a niche market for a while there.
I think it's a mix of two things.
Okay.
The first being Travis Scott.
That was my exact answer.
That was that year's? Okay. Yeah, because he just has crazy influence over everything. The second, I feel like, is, so it was also, I guess the last year or two have been the year of the ones as well, or the years of the one. And having such a similar silhouette to that, I think it's just vibing with everybody's style now. So I think it's a mix of like those two things for sure.
I think so too. For me, the answer was Travis Scott. Whatever he puts his name on seems to turn to gold. I mean, the dude sold out Reese's Puff cereal boxes, right? So you have one in the back? Of course you do. Low key, Sean may or may not be a hype beast. So I think we'll find out today.
We'll see.
But like, look, the year of the dunk. So I'm sure we'll talk a lot about that. But there were some really cool collabs this year, and I'm interested to see if any of you guys discuss those things. So let's start off with the first question, and it's the easiest one. What is the best sneaker of the year for you? And so what that means, that doesn't necessarily mean the best sneaker because it resells for the most or moves, the most units or whatever that may be, because that changes the answer. It's the best sneaker in your personal opinion, the one that you enjoyed the most, the one that you loved. And so, I'm going to start with Alikhan. Alikhan, what's the best sneaker of the year for you, man?
All right, man. So safe, K's. You two know I'm still salty about this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it, man. It has to be the Chunky Dunkies for me. And for those of you who don't know where Chunky Dunkies name derived from, it comes from Ben & Jerry's Chunky Monkey ice cream. However, I didn't get those shoes, so I only eat Haagen-Dazs now. But,
I mean, you only entered in raffles in like 4 different states.
Yeah, I got like 10 friends of mine to enter raffles in like California, Chicago, one in Atlanta, some in South Carolina, some in Florida. Obviously, I didn't hit, but that's definitely the best sneaker of the year for me. Not for the resale value, but because I wanted to wear them. And I've always liked dunks. Safe, you know this, for years when we were in middle school. I've loved dunks, but it's definitely the Chunky Dunkies for me.
That's fair. That's a shoe I have a feeling will come up a little later once again.
Yeah.
Aamir, what's the best sneaker of the year for you?
So I gotta agree with Alikhan actually. I had the Chunky Dunky as my sneaker of the year as well. And I think the reason why for me is people who are not generally your sneaker heads or the people who are into that necessarily genre. I saw a lot of people just into it, and everybody was trying to hit, like, my sister's trying to hit, and everybody's like, oh, have you seen the sneaker? And you're seeing it on, commercial media, you're seeing it on the news, right? And, personally, I love everything that Ben & Jerry's has done with their social justice matters and their messages this year, so that company with that sneaker and everything that they did together, and, kind of going off of what you guys had said about SBs being back, what I think it is just all of the dope collabs that they've had with the Grateful Deads, with, there's just so many awesome collabs that have come out with that great silhouette. But yeah, for me, the Chunky Dunky, I mean, everything from, if you look at the friends and family packaging, it's so detailed. You can't look at that sneaker and just be like, nah, I'm going to skip that one. It just, you just can't.
Friends and family packaging it's just amazing.
That shit was sick. That was really, really, really cool. Alikhan, what do they resell for now?
Bro, honestly, I don't know, and I don't want to know.
Stop play. I just looked it up on StockX. They're going for, in size 10, which is my personal size, they're going for about $1,400. So I assume the sizes around there go around that price tag. And that's without the friends and family. You add that packaging and you're going up a good bit from there. Sean, what do you think? Best sneaker of the year? I saw you kind of racking your list. So I have a feeling Chunky Dunkies was on there. But do you have something else?
Chunky Dunkies was on there. Chunky Dunkies was on there. I know the direction you're going, I feel like, so I'm gonna stay away from that. So I'm gonna go to my third favorite.
Okay.
And those are the PJ Tucker Kobe 5s.
Okay. Well, talk to me about why.
Bro, just that just like the way he put those colors together. First of all, the 5s are one of my favorite Kobe's. I got the Chaos back there, you can see, and then some of the 4s. I only hoop in Kobe's only, and so it's crazy. Like this, I think this is gonna come up a little bit in the next section, but like Kobe's now are like people buying them to resell. People like that's all it is. But Kobe's to me have always been hoop shoes. Like I know you play with me, like all you guys are playing with me. Like I'm always hooping in Kobe's. I know y'all are always hooping in Kobe's too. But man, I really wanted to hit on those, and I really wanted to hoop in those like in 3 years when we can play again.
You think 3 years? No. I was thinking 2027. No. That's where my mind was at. 2027. We'll get to hoop again one day.
If you're only thinking that far ahead, because you'll be fully healed by then.
I might not be fully healed by then either. I don't know. For you don't know, I've suffered many knee injuries throughout my very illustrious basketball career, or lack thereof, is only fair. Well, now that you've brought it up, I actually wanted to hit on this. All actually 5 of us have at some point or another hooped in Kobe's shoes, pre-hype, I would like to say, pre the Mamba leaving us. What is your favorite Kobe sneaker? We're here right now. What's your favorite Kobe sneaker to hoop in? Sean, you were just talking about it, so I'm sure the 5 has come to mind, or is there another one?
No, the 5s are actually of my favorite. They look like they're up there on looks, but comfort wise, they just don't fit me well. I might get some hate for this. But before my favorites were the 8s to hoop in. The 8s were so, and I know a lot of people would agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But now the NXT 360s, those are some of the most comfortable basketball shoes, because I got kind of wide feet, and so those are like the Flyknit, of course, I'm a Flyknit fan. But those stretch out and everything. They're soft. They look good, and so those I think are my favorite Kobe's to hoop in.
So what's funny is when I saw those shoes come out, probably a little more, maybe a year ago, maybe a little bit more than that, I looked at them and I was like, yo, these are really cool. But for my broken ass knees, hard pass. And I saw you hooping them on like Instagram or some shit. And I was like, you know what? Should I go try them on? And I tried them on, super comfy. Still can't play in them just for health purposes, but they don't look as comfortable as they actually are, which I think is really cool. And the grip is insane on those sneakers.
Yep, ankle braces for days, man. I got bad ankles too, so I feel you 100%. I've been taking this quarantine time to like strengthen my knees and ankles, so I'm right.
I got a couple ankle braces around here somewhere.
Low top game too.
Yeah, Aamir, what's your favorite Kobe sneaker to hoop in?
So mine's actually the Kobe 8, as far as the favorite to hoop in, the Easter colorway in particular. I don't know what it is about that one. I remember getting it. I've hooped in it until literally, I guess the wheels fell off. But I also love that Kobe 8 Christmas, just because I had my own kind of Kobe moment in IBL where I hit 2 whatever game-winning free throws and that and Daniel saying, "Oh, it must be the shoes." So that was just a dope moment overall. Weird flex, but okay. But just the Kobe 8s or whatever, I just have so many moments and so many memories. And even I tried the 80 NXTs after seeing Shan with them, and those are fire too. I just picked up a pair of the NXT Fast Fits as well. So once things go back to normal and we can actually hoop, I'll let y'all know if those become my new favorites.
Yeah, Alikhan, we've hooped for many years. Alikhan is actually one of the few people who has hooped in Jordan 11 breads, and that one hurt me deep down inside.
Yeah.
But he's the homie, so I'm not gonna say shit. But you knew I had to come after you a little bit when you said yes to hopping on my podcast, Alikhan. You knew this was gonna happen. But Kobe, favorite Kobe shoe to hoop in? What are you thinking?
All right, man. I don't have a favorite number, but I'll tell you my favorite pair of Kobe. Okay. It's probably gonna be the Galaxies. Those are hard.
The 7s?
The 7, yeah. That's the one.
Yeah. I did not wear a single pair of 7s.
Really?
Not a single one.
I never had a pair either, but if I could get my hands on a particular pair of Kobe's, it would probably be those Galaxies.
Well, forget about it now unless the resale is like less than $2,000.
Yeah.
I mean, can you fit a size 13?
Man, I'll make it work.
I've got a pair sitting right over there.
My man got a pair. Nice.
Case, I know you haven't answered the first question, but Kobe hoop and shoes. You've hooped
the
in
7s. I only hooped in Kobe's for a while. Then I kind of destroyed my ankle, so now we're wearing mid tops.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Kobe 7s, the black white Del Sol with the sock liner inside. I wore those for a good 2 years while playing ball.
I like those.
That's a good shoe. That's a really good shoe. Mine's going to be a little bit more of a throwback. It's a shoe that I got to play basketball with in high school. It is, to this day, my favorite basketball shoe of all time, the Kobe 3. The Kobe 3 is my favorite hoop shoe of all time. It was super duper comfy. It had a nice little mesh liner on the inside. And that was when Nike Zoom was not necessarily in every single hoop shoe all the way through. And the Kobe had it in the toe box, in the forefoot, and in the heel. It was super duper comfy, really awesome shoe. That was my personal favorite. But that was a little bit of a tangent. Let's come back. Case, your best sneaker release of the year. What are you thinking?
The Air Max 97 Halloweens.
Can you describe them for the listener a little bit?
Basically, you take an all black Air Max 97, you put glow in the dark on the outsole and the upper lining with slime coming down onto like a nice royal purple. It's fucking fantastic.
It's a damn good description, my guy.
Yeah.
That's like really, I mean, look, no one would believe me, but Case is on a podcast like week in and week out. He knows how to describe shit now. It's pretty dope.
Hey, you deserve to have those shoes, man.
I do, but they sold out in like 2 fucking minutes.
Of course.
Well, that's the story of every
And
shoe.
I'm not paying resale.
I don't blame you on that one.
No, sir.
Mine is going to be the shoe that is going to break my heart on Christmas Eve, as well as quite literally, I assume everybody on this podcast. It's the Kobe Grinches. I know I'm going to take an L. I'm well mentally ready for it, and yet I'm still going to be pissed when I don't get them on Christmas Eve at 10 a.m. Eastern. That's going to be my favorite shoe this year. The other one is Kobe Week. There was 5 or 6 Kobe's that came out in August, mid-August, and I took a fat L on every single one of them. And I think that there's probably a lot of things that go into my unhappiness with how they dealt with that from a Nike standpoint, but I can understand there were a lot of logistical problems with it being COVID and production issues, as well as Kobe's were a sneaker, in all fairness, that prior to the death of Kobe Bryant was a sneaker that you could definitely pick up. So it's kind of hard to tell what those numbers would have been like. And I think even Nike from a certain standpoint was a little taken aback by it. For me, this year was not just the year of the Nike Dunk, but it was also the Kobe. And so really any Kobe sneaker was my best sneaker of the year. Considering he's my favorite player of all time.
Going off what you said there, though, like before the tragedy, like every Kobe release was on sneakers. It was on Foot Locker, Finish Line. Like the Chaos, I didn't even get off Nike. I got off like Foot Locker, and then one of my friends got his own pair. Like it was easy. It was easy to get.
You could walk into a Foot Locker at the mall and pick them up most of the time.
Yeah. The more like limited colorways like these and like the undefeateds and stuff, it was a little bit different, but still like it wasn't impossible to get. Like now any Kobe release that comes up, even if it's not like these new like PEs that come out, like I'm already expecting an L. Like it shouldn't even be like that for these hoop shoes, but people taking advantage.
Unfortunately, at some point every hoop shoe becomes a shoe for the culture and not just for hoops anymore. And that has its goods and its bads. And the bads of it is, well, you take an L and then it goes for resale. And I mean, look, if you look at the Grinches, we haven't even taken an L on them. We're still a couple days away while we record this podcast. And they're already on resale for like $500 and $600. Surprise, surprise. And once I take the L, I'll look at the resale market. I'll be mad about it. I probably won't buy a pair if I'm being quite honest. And then I'll just be like, all right, we'll move on. And on we go and on to the next, shoe. But that being said, we've talked about sneaker culture. We've talked about resale culture. One of the questions that comes with it is, what is the most overhyped or overrated sneaker that came out in the last calendar year? Aamir, what do you think? What's the most overrated, overhyped sneaker?
I think it's the Dior ones.
I was gonna
think.
Talk to me about why. Talk to me. It is a sneaker that I had in mind as well. Talk to me about why.
It's like the AirPods Pro Max of sneakers. Literally, it's just, why are you here? Why are you priced this way? I mean, I'm not really a Dior fan personally, so maybe I'm just not their target demographic. But for me, it's just, I love the Jordan 1 silhouette. The Jordan 1s are my favorite. They always will be. But it just seems like such a basic collab, especially for the resale price. And for the hype that they get, I personally just don't understand it. And I tend to stay away from white shoes that I'm going to mess up anyways. I just could not imagine staining a 15, 16 band shoe. I just couldn't do that. So skip.
Sean, that looked like that rubbed you the wrong way.
No, I'm with him on that 100%.
Oh.
That was, I'm sorry, man. But no, I don't think those are worth what they are. I mean, it is what like it's Dior, right? Dior is expensive, so the one's going to be expensive, but it's all just like it's a limited release, and now like all the celebrities are going to get it, right? Because they can afford it. They know, like they got the hookups and everything, and we looking at celebrities and stuff like, oh, they got it, I gotta have it.
Mhm.
And so that's why prices are so high. I mean, it's literally it's a basic Jordan 1 that just got some Dior on it. And that's literally like, I don't even like the colorway that, like, I personally don't think it looks good, but it's not like I'm not gonna pay racks on racks for it.
I mean, look, you're right. It does look good. I think all of us would agree it looks good, but there's no wow, this is worth thousands of dollars factored to it.
No shoe is.
If I did though, it would be the lows for sure.
Oh yeah.
The lows are hard. The lows are actually, the lows are nicer than the highs, in my personal opinion. I think most of us agree.
I think they're a little
Yeah,
cheaper
yeah.
too. So
Yeah.
Yes, by a tinge.
save a
If
couple
Weird
thousand
Flex
there.
but okay was a sneaker, that would be the Dior ones.
Probably true. What's funny is, like, once we realized that the Dior ones were definitely not made for us, all of us normal humans started looking for lookalikes, and there were a couple of Jordans that came out this year with like very similar looks and colorways as a Dior one, and it was like,
The ones with the zoom in it, those were a very similar colorway. The ones with
There's like a
they were the same kind of gray. What's that?
There's like a similar pair of ones, just like the Dior's, but it's like patent there instead.
Yeah.
it looked damn near the same. But Sean,
They don't got Dior on it.
coming to you next. Overhyped, overrated sneaker of the year. That's not the Dior ones.
Apart from the Dior ones, man, I can go two ways with this.
Well, go both.
We'll go both.
There's like 5 million sneakers that came out this year. We could talk about more than one.
So if you know me, you know I am swoosh life. Swoosh life, hashtag swoosh life. I don't have any Adidas on me. It's just a personal choice. It's not. Nothing really like sticks out to me. Nothing really sticks out like that Nike hasn't done already. So that's all that aside. The Yeezy foam runners. Can someone please explain why they're reselling for like $400 or $500 when they look like
700s?
No, the I wish I
The
could say
slides.
the one, the slides that look like they're 3D printed.
The chanclas.
Those look like a really poor iPhone 5C case, if you remember those from back in the day. That's what they look like. The holes and shit in the back.
Yeah.
Those are insanely stupid.
Yeah.
Those don't even look comfortable.
They don't exactly. I legitimately do not understand that one.
I'm gonna throw a name to you real quick, and you tell me if this is exactly what they are, Sean. You ready? High-end Crocs. That's what those are.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Right? That's exactly
what they are. Yeah.
They're going for $1,000 right now.
I like
StockX.
that, I'm not gonna lie.
But why though? Like why?
You ever heard of Kanye West?
But his other stuff isn't even selling like it used to. That's the thing.
No, it sucks. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Why those? They don't look good. I don't know. They might feel good. I don't know. I'm not a Crocs.
How good are they? $1,000 feel good? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't blame you at all. And by the way, Alikhan, you said you kind of like those. Can you talk to me why you kind of like those?
Oh no! I'm saying I like Crocs.
You like Crocs?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You know what? They're about $999 cheaper if you find the right deal.
I've never been a big fan.
Crocs are great.
I don't have any pairs of Yeezys.
What's funny is Crocs are kind of on the come up this year too. They've been
they are
collabs and shit. It's
Crocs collabs.
You know what it is?
Bad Bunny, Post Malone.
Didn't Justin Bieber had a collab, right? And so did KFC.
Yeah.
Some interesting
Crocs
shit
in the
going on.
wave. Crocs in the wave.
Apparently, good luck getting a pair of Crocs at a reasonable price. It's like all of our nurses and first responders' first choice shoe is fucked. But Sean, you said you were going to go one of two ways. You went one. Is there a second?
Yeah. The new Sakai Vapor Waffles. I don't like them. I think that just something's off about them. I think maybe it's like the tail end of them. They work on.
Yeah, like what the hell is that back
Sakai.
piece hanging off?
I like the green and yellow pair though. The green and yellow colorway is hard.
Yeah, they're hard.
I think the colors go nice together. I think they did a good job of that, but just like the silhouette in general is.
I think the front and like the toe box could be a bit better. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, he also has the OG Sakai's that he needs.
Yeah.
So like
that's also true.
Yeah.
And as you discussed, we talked about the Yeezy foam runner and the Croc, the Sakai. Nike's been doing this thing with their apparel and their shoes a lot recently, as I'm sure all of us have noticed, where they go, okay, you can't get your hands on an off-white and you can't afford one, here's this like Nike hoodie that has 3 checks on it that has a very off-white-ish feel to it. The Sakai gives me very similar vibes. It's like, let's deconstruct a couple things. Let's make it look a little outlandish and a little aggressive. And then it kind of looks like an off-white and goes for a little bit less than an off-white. I think that's the feel that I got from the Sakai, from the ones that are coming out more recently.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see
I agree
that.
with that.
You disagree?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think the Sakai's are kind of their own thing. I think it falls under the umbrella of Nike collaborations with like more expensive streetwear.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, and maybe that's like the connecting piece right there. But I don't think personally that because like Off-White was so, successful, they wanted to make this like maybe less expensive kind of similar looking thing. I think it was just like Sakai's vibe that was just, it's all like higher end streetwear, right? So I think that's just kind of where that's at right now, just kind of deconstructed and looser and kind of broken.
That's fair. I think maybe where I'm getting that idea from is just like Off-White did such a good job. Like you said, they were so successful. Virgil was so successful in that quest with Nike. Then now even certain elements that he adapted has become almost credited to him, like the deconstruction or like the extendos. It's almost been credited to him, even if he wasn't the first and definitely not the last to do it. Maybe that's where I'm getting the idea from.
Yeah, and I have one of those like basic Nike sportswear shirts with like the 3 things, like
No, I'm saying they're cool.
Like, all over. Like I got them, yeah.
They're cool.
But that I'll give him credit for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm saying like it's definitely cool, and I personally have one or 2 shirts or hoodies myself. I realized that Nike has realized the success and tried to replicate it with a lot of their lines to a more affordable audience, which I think is a good thing. By the way, it's a good thing when we all get to have what we want, generally speaking.
Put quotation marks around anything, bro. So
you know what? You're not wrong. I've seen some dope ass like homeware that says like rug or like mat, and it has like the quotes, and it's like go crazy. It's like it's a floor mat. I'm gonna step on it, but you know what? It looks kind of cool. Not gonna lie.
Right.
Case, come to me, bro. Most hyped or overrated shoe this year? What are you thinking?
The most hype was definitely the Chunky Dunks, but not a fan of the Cactus Trails hype.
Okay. Talk to me about why.
I don't know. I don't like the design of the shoe in general. That color is just off-putting to me. But again, Travis Scott, so everyone went crazy for it.
Surprise.
yeah,
Alikhan?
I have a pair of the toddler size that I'm still sitting on.
Oh yeah. Why is that?
You know what? I tried to get the men's sizes. I couldn't, and so I just went for a toddler size. It was just that sneakers gratification. I just wanted it. I just wanted to feel something.
Yeah.
It'll make for like a nice little showroom piece somewhere, right?
Yeah.
That's actually that's interesting that you bring that up. The fact that toddler shoes go for that much, like in the resale markets, is kind of crazy to me, considering they'll only fit for like a week. That's absurd to me too. That those things
hold on. There's a resale game on the toddler sneakers now.
You would be surprised.
For
Obviously not at the level, and not at that level, but it's there. Yes.
Right.
But you're only putting down like 80, 90 bucks to flip for like 150, 160 versus like $200 for 500, 600. So
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's rather small comparative.
Yeah.
Child's play.
Straight up, that is what it is.
Oh, Aamir, you never seem to disappoint me when it comes to the puns. I like it a lot. Alikhan, most overrated, overhyped shoe. What do you think?
Okay. Well, this shoe, I don't think it was too overhyped or too overrated, but I would probably say the Saint Germain 4s, the Saint Germain Jordan 4s.
Can you describe that for the listeners?
Yeah, sure. They're well, you want me to describe the silhouette, or you want me to describe?
I think the listener knows like a Jordan 4. So talk to me about like the color or what's like special about that shoe.
Well, it's for those of you who don't know, it's the Paris Saint Germain collab with Jordan. So Paris Saint Germain is the soccer team, right? I just think that it was overhyped, to the point where everybody thought it was going to be such a hot shoe, but it really wasn't. And it sold out so fast on sneakers. And just for it to be resold for like $50 more. So at this point, they're not even reselling that much or for that much. But, you know, everybody's hyping them up and they just buy them immediately before people that even really care about them or like Paris Saint-Germain like fans can really get their hands on them. You know, they're just gone at that point.
So what's funny is you bring that up. I'm actually going to bring that up for a different category that we'll talk about a little later.
But honestly, these would hit a little harder if they were black instead of white.
What makes these PSG 4s? Like, I don't understand the colorway to be associated.
I just want to hear Case's description of the shoe. Can you describe the colors of the shoe? Because the first one made me hungry or something. So you got a way of describing it. I just want to hear it real quick.
All right, is your basic Jordan 4 base white, midsole white, the outer sole's kind of black, and then you've got your accents all maroonish. And instead of your typical Jumpman on the back, you have the PSG logo in black and white laces, white tongue. Then you got a black box on the tongue, which just looks stupid, with the Jumpman silhouette inside.
Okay, you're making me rethink my answer later in the podcast.
Honestly, it sucks dick. I can't describe it well. If it was a shoe I fucked with, I could say something nice about it. But it's just not flattering at all. Like the maroon doesn't go with the white or the black.
So,
and I'm just sitting here looking at it, and it just sucks.
Okay. I don't think they're that bad. You know, they look good, but I don't think it deserved the hype that it got.
Alikhan's like, you know what? I might have opened up a box that I wasn't ready. For me, the most overrated, overhyped shoe, I'm gonna actually turn the clock back a little bit to
I don't like it.
Early pandemic-ish, I guess. The Supreme Air Force One, the black and the white pair, in my opinion, were the most overrated shoe of the year because they're a simple Air Force One. It's a classic. It is something that the majority of us have either had or have or will continue to have in our lifetime. It's a shoe that clearly has become a white girl phenomena over the last year and a half, which has been fun, I think. It's brought back new life to something that maybe was just for some OG sneakerheads. But to put just simply, and Supreme has done some really awesome collabs over the years, which is why I felt like this one was pretty basic. They just put the Supreme box logo on the back heel and they were done with it. And that's cool if you weren't in the resale market looking at it going for double and triple what the retail was. The retail was reasonable. It was $96. A regular Air Force One is $90. Very reasonable. But since then, the life of that shoe has turned into a hypebeast cultural icon because that's what Supreme happens to be now. And so for that reason, again, I like it. Don't get me wrong, but it's not all that special or all that new. All you've done is put a Supreme box logo on the back and said, hey, this is Supreme Edition. They've done some really cool things in the past. This required a 5-year-old to put it together, if even that.
Maybe this was just one of those like flexes from Supreme. It's just like, you know what? Let's do it just to do it. Let's sell out these pairs of basic Air Force Ones.
Right.
And just to show them we can.
Supreme's been coming out with some garbage lately, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, look, they just sold the company for like $2 billion.
That's true, yeah. But
that's what this year was about. It was about putting their name on random ass shit to prove that they could sell it, and they did. By the way, they made a fucking money gun, money gun. They made a brick not that long ago. That was like 18 months ago. They made a brick, and they sold out. So you know what?
Crowbars, whatever the fuck they want, bro.
I got the Supreme Oreos back there too. But yeah, I didn't get. They were gifted to me. Shout out Jamie Wall. They were gifted to me.
I have the crowbar sitting around here somewhere.
Hey, I need some more. Just like, I don't know,
knickknacks.
Knickknack. Yeah. I gotta add a little something to my home. But
yeah. Well, find the next big thing that's not Supreme, and then get on that early, and then maybe they'll be worth like $1 billion in like.
All right, look, 6 months. Carhartt is the move.
Carhartt is kind of nice. Yeah, they're coming up for sure.
Oh shit! What's those bear bricks, man? What's the name of that? What is it? The bear bricks or whatever. Those are really cool. And the cause dolls are sick. Those are dope. Sean, I think you have one, don't you?
Fuck. No, I don't have an actual cause. They're too expensive. That's just not fitting my budget right now. The way my bank account's set up, I gotta check in there. No, that's just not working out. But I do love cause stuff. I paint like my own like fake cause stuff, and I got like cause little what they call coasters.
Okay.
And no, I love cause, all his art and everything. But that's when I do hopefully make some more money. That's for sure on my to buy list.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, down for the cause, not for the price.
And we're back, Aamir. Yes. The next question is the most slept on release of the year by your standards. So because we've already talked about the shoe, I'm going to start. I actually picked the Jordan 4 PSGs, the Paris Saint-Germain's. And the reason being is quite literally the reason Alikhan talked about them. They were a shoe that was really hyped up. People talked about them. Resellers got their hands on them. And now you can basically buy them for retail or damn near on StockX and GOAT or wherever you buy your shoes. And I kind of like that. That's a shoe that clearly was meant for people who cared about PSG. Obviously cared about the shoe, the colorway, many other things, but it was meant for the fans. And unfortunately, like many shoes nowadays, they sold out. But now the fans can get their hands on it, and they can get it on, they can get their hands on it for a very reasonable price. It's not that high compared to the retail price, which is nice. But because of that, it makes me feel like they were kind of slept on. Because yeah, sure, they sold out, but the resale is just not there. And in a way, that's nice. But it also tells me it was a little bit slept on because the resellers didn't get what they wanted for that shoe, which is why they fall under this category for me personally. I did actually get my hands on a pair, funny enough. And now I don't know what to wear them with because, well, trips to Walmart just don't hit the same right now. But that's just for me. Alikhan, talk to me about the most slept on release of the year by your standards, sir.
Most slept on release of the year, the New Balance 990 Kith exclusives. For those of you who don't know, it's a collab between New Balance and Kith. And then, the New Balance 990, man, it's not just for, dads or,
Jack Harlow.
Yeah, Jack Harlow. But it's a really cool sneaker, man. I'm really into the New Balance 990s. And, Kith is a great company. Personally, I don't have anything from them. I've never been too into Kith, but I do like that collab. So that's my personal opinion for the most slept on sneaker of 2020.
I like that you
don't miss.
Sorry?
I'm saying Ronnie's collabs don't miss.
Yeah.
They do a damn good job. I like that you went outside the Nike Adidas bubble to pick something that was really slept on, because that's probably a lot of sneakers. If it's not Nike, if it's not Adidas, if it's not a really high end, collab, it's probably going to be something you can get your hands on, at least at a reasonable retail or resale.
Yeah.
So I like that you did that.
But those are actually reselling for,
well, because it's Kith, and every hype beast loves Kith.
Yeah.
I like Kith too, but I don't necessarily consider myself a hype beast in this specific regard.
Right. This is just like the supreme conversation. So
exactly, it's like there's certain things that everyone likes about these hype beast brands. It doesn't make you a hype beast unless you stand in line for every single one,
right.
Or a high percentage of them at least. Aamir, what do you think? Most slept on release of 2020?
So for me, I actually have them right here. The Court Purple Jordan 3. So a lot of people actually thought that this was going to be a Lakers colorway. So that's why the America release actually got canceled. So they only released outside of the US. So when people saw, I guess, that these were a Suns colorway, they were like, nah, fam, I'm going to pass on those. But I actually happen to think that the Suns will be really good this year and exciting to watch. The Jordan 3s were the first Jordans that I ever picked up with my own money. So sentimental value-wise, I've always loved them. And I personally fuck with the colorway heavy. I actually like that they're not Lakers colorway, just because I don't want everything to be Kobe, Lakers, etc. So yeah, hella slept on because you couldn't even get them in the United States, but you can get them on StockX or retail. So that's a hell of a deal for me in my book.
So they were so slept on that Nike and Jordan had to say, we're not releasing them in the United States. I think that's a really good answer considering the question I asked you.
I mean, to me, that's slept on, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's quite literally the definition of slept on. They were so slept on, they just never woke up in the United States of America.
But who the fuck gives a fuck about PSG, and you still got the shoes and then resold them over here?
I did not resell them. I did not resell them.
What to wear with them?
I still have them. I don't know what to do with them.
Wear them to Walmart.
Throw them in the trash where they belong.
Ouch, hurtful feelings.
Hey, send it my way.
It's a
Wait,
garbage
all-inclusive
shoe, bro.
podcast, boys. All-inclusive.
It's a
please.
garbage shoe.
Look, that's quite. You guys are proving my point of why they were slept. If 4 out of 5 or 3 out of 5 dudes are not a fan, they're clearly slept on, or maybe they're trash. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. 4 out of 5. Well, you didn't say anything, so I blame you.
I don't hate them as much as they do. Don't get me wrong. I don't really like them.
Well, apparently neither does Alikhan, because Case is like on a 10 out of 10 of hating them.
Just K's and Aamir on that.
You're just so basic, man. And PSG, I thought was like red and blue. So like, where is this maroon and black accents coming from? I
That
don't
is
understand.
true, Aamir. I have the same question.
So okay,
I don't
so
understand.
I'll give you a part of the story if you're genuinely that interested. Okay, so you
Mhm.
remember the Bordeaux Sevens?
Yes.
Bordeaux, France, Paris, France. Jordan has a collab with PSG as a team. He literally has a logo on their jersey. So it's just like the jump isn't that far. It's a jump. I will give you that. But it's not that far to make to bring back what is considered a popular, shoe and a colorway-ish. And that's kind of the story there. Kays, what
They
do you
also
think?
have a new maroon kit.
Yeah, with the Jordan logo on him that's supposed to match the jersey.
Okay,
And
see,
the-
that's a much better.
Yeah, they have a maroon.
explanation.
That's what I thought. I'm not a huge soccer fan, so I needed to double check. But no, they have a maroon kit. That's where the connection.
Yeah. Case,
I'm gonna get hate for this one. It's the Retro 5 alternate grapes.
why would you get hate for that shoe?
Nah, I don't feel like that's
A lot of
hot take.
people don't like them.
Well, talk to the listener about the colorway since we like how you
Are
describe
we
it.
really describing this shit again?
Yes, please.
All right, so we've got a purple suede upper with the charcoal underlays with mint detailing. Then you've got a black and mint midsole with a visible air unit. Then you've got the icy translucent outsole with a mint green Jordan logo and lace lock.
I could paint a picture of those just based on.
I don't know if that made any sense to you guys.
You recreate
Made all the sense in the world.
description.
So, in all fairness, by the literal definition of slept on, they're going $10 above retail on StockX. I think that's probably fair when we talk about slept on in the
Yeah.
sneaker community as a whole. I personally didn't love them, but I just don't know what the hell I'd wear purple shoes with. You know what I'm saying?
So you ever heard of black joggers and a black hoodie?
That's probably fair.
Okay, why do you think
called
those are the
neutrals,
most
man.
slept on shoes?
No one wanted them, but they're fantastic fucking shoes. I just bought a pair 3 days ago.
Sean, what are your thoughts? Most slept on shoe of the year?
Most slept on. So I have again multiple answers here. The first, I'm just gonna skim through this one, but the Air Max 1 City Pack. I know they're like still hype and going for a little over retail, but I just don't think they got the hype they deserve. And hopefully, if prices come down a little bit more, I'll get my hands on a pair. But the main two I wanted to talk about first was the infrared Air Max 90s. Those, what happened? What happened to those? Those were fire before. You put camo on them, everyone wants them, but the basic stuff that everybody wanted before. I don't know. I got on sneakers. I forgot about the release, and I got on sneakers like 5 or 6 minutes late. I got my pair. They were still in stock. I think they may have made it to the Nike website, which means that they took maybe like more than 30 minutes to sell out. But yeah, the infrared 90s, they brought them back, and I was like, man, these are gonna be fire. I'm gonna need to make sure I set my alarm for all this. Forgot to set my alarm, but still got it. Yeah, not sure what happened there. I guess a lot of the OGs still have like a pair or two they're sitting on, and the new guys don't know what they are. Don't care what they are. I don't know.
I think Air Maxes have not got their due just yet. Like the OG colorways, like the infrared, or even if you go to like the 95s, which are really big in certain parts of the country, those don't sell out anymore, which is kind of nice if I'm being honest with you. We can get our hands on them when we want them. Those are shoes that are meant to be like, I can wear them, I can trash them and not feel bad about them. And when they resell for triple the price tag, I feel a little bad about trashing certain shoes because I wear them so much. the Air Maxes are nice that they haven't been, I guess, destroyed by the resale community. You being able to wake up and go, I got them, is probably a good sign.
Yeah, I was happy about that. So
What else? You got one more?
yeah, so you touched on this before about how basketball shoes start off as basketball shoes and turn into I don't know the term you use, but like collectibles, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All the LeBrons that retroed this year just sat.
Mm-hmm.
And before those are like super hype, like the Fruit Loops ones, the All-Star Game ones that released as well. These are different models. Those are two that come off, top of my head right now. But like, nobody cares about LeBron's new. Like that's what, back when I used to like me and Aamir used to like sell shoes to each other. Like back when like I was in school and stuff. Like that's the stuff that was like that was moving. Like all the different like LeBron and stuff. The Mars Red 4s, which look exactly like the PSG 4s, just red instead of that maroon. Like I don't know. I guess like the taste of like the newer sneakerheads has shifted completely, or the people who are influencing the sneaker market right now just aren't wearing them anymore. I guess I don't know what it is. It makes me feel like an old head, and I'm 27 years old, right? Like I shouldn't feel like an OG or an old head in the sneaker game when I'm still relatively young. So
the taste has definitely shifted, though. I think that.
Yeah. I think it'd be hard pressed for anyone to disagree with that. Like the taste absolutely has shifted. Yeah. My only concern is I hope that the shifting of the taste does not justify Nike and Adidas and those large companies to stop releasing the colorways and the old shoes, quote unquote old shoes that we actually still enjoy, that the OGs wear, like the infrareds that Sean talked about, like Air Max 90s or shoes along that line that don't get the shine, in the sun. I think that's kind of nice. They still come out, and Sean, you can grab a pair.
Yeah.
No complaints here. I just think they'd be more exclusive.
That's so wild to me though, because like, going back to what Sean said, there was a time like when he and I would trade and sell back and forth to each other from ATATF. Any shoe that KD dropped, any shoe that Kobe dropped, any shoe that LeBron dropped, you had to have it. Like from the Weathermans to the Coppers to the South Beaches, those were all like they weren't missing with any of those colorways or any of those releases. And it's crazy to see that dynamic shift now. As he says, now we're feeling like old heads sitting here talking about like, oh, do you remember these LeBron Christmases or these LeBron South Beaches? And, hearing that they may retro and bring those back next year. But it's crazy to think like now Giannis, his shoes sit on Nike, etc. KD, his shoes go to clearance, etc. Kyrie, his shoes go to clearance, etc. So it's crazy to see that dynamic shift where the top athletes, even their shoes aren't really selling out anymore. So.
I think there are certain colorways like the South Beaches, for example, when those do come out, there's certain colorways that will still get the culture, the sneaker culture, the resale culture really excited. But you bring up an interesting point. I wanted to highlight it. There is a very specific Kevin Durant colorway that for the longest time was one of the best selling shoes, collectibles that, by the way, this time when they came out, sat. The Aunt Pearls sat for the first time in a very long time. The Aunt Pearls used to be some of the most look forward to Kevin Durant sneakers year after year after year. And I'm not saying I loved them. Personally, I wasn't a huge fan of them, but the Aunt Pearl storyline, the Aunt Pearl colorway, what they stand for and what it means to Kevin Durant, that shoe is one that has moved very quickly in the past. And like I said, for the first time in a long time, those did not move the same way they have in the past, which for those that enjoy that shoe, great. You get to hoop in them and not feel bad. But that just shows that the shift in the culture is there and it's proving itself as we see it quite literally before our very eyes. It's incredible to see. And like Sean said, I'm not complaining. I get my hands on a lot of the shoes that I like. I'm an Air Max guy. I know, Sean, you are. I know, Aamir, you are. I know Alikhan is too. The Air Maxes are a shoe I can most of the time get my hands on. A lot of them will make it to the Foot Lockers of the world or the Nike.coms of the world, which is quite nice, I would say. those are a nice everyday shoe that I can still get my hands on and not cry about. It's nice. It's really nice.
Yeah,
But this year has been an interesting one for many, many, many reasons. In our case, sneakers. The next question I have is, let's look forward. We've wrapped up 2020, and at least from our perspectives, let's look forward to next year. 2021 looks to be, from at least the way I see it, a really, really awesome year for sneakers. But if you asked me that at the beginning of this year or the year before, I'd probably say the same thing, because we like sneakers. So every year's pretty cool. There's some awesome sneakers coming out next year. We have at least a sneak peek from Jordan Brand and Nike and a little bit of Adidas as well. Is there a sneaker or sneakers that stand out to each and every one of you? And Kays, I'm going to go to you first because I want you to take the answer away from Alikhan, and then Alikhan can kind of come up with a new answer. I got a feeling Alikhan's thinking this one as well. Maybe Aamir. Maybe
the cool gray 11s, bro. I love 11s.
Describe them for the listener.
No, fuck you guys. I'm not a fucking circus toy. I'm trying to figure out why fucking Ben Roethlisberger has -2 yards on 5 completions.
Case can't help it. Case can't help it. Fantasy rules everything. The cool gray 11s. Every year we get an 11 around.
It's not even fantasy. It's cash money, bro.
You bet on Ben Roethlisberger. That's on you, sir. You go down with that shit.
I bet on the Steelers defense, and they're down 10-0.
We're a basketball podcast and a sneakers podcast. Let's stay on board.
We can do it, man.
But the cool gray 11s, I think that's a really fair choice. I think it's a shoe that, you know what? They kind of fucked us with the 11 that came out this year. I couldn't give two shits about that 11 this year. The Jubilees. What the hell was that? That's not an OG colorway. That's not even a fun colorway, at least in my personal opinion. Aamir, you're smiling. Do you like the Jubilees? Am I being an ass?
I mean, I liked them in person. To be honest, I felt the same way until I saw them in person.
Okay.
But nah, yeah, I would not spend any money on those.
220, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot for a sneaker that I don't feel did the Jordan 11 justice. Every year, sneakerheads look forward to that December Jordan 11 release, and they kind of let us down this year.
Yeah,
they give us a very 2020 Jordan 11.
100%. Yeah.
The cool grays will be dope. The cool grays are a really cool shoe. I'm sure that a lot of people will try to grab 2 or 3 or 4 pairs of that sneaker. And I think that's a really fair choice, Case. Sean, do you have a shoe that's coming out in 2021 that you want to talk about? And I wrote down one that I think you're going to choose. So I wrote down a second one just in case you choose this one. I will tell you that.
Okay. Man. I have. It's so hard. It's so hard to choose. So I guess the one I'm most excited for, the ones I'm most excited for, is every Kobe 6 that's coming out.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's not the one you had on your list.
No, I did not. Which is good. I'll come back to you if nobody else, and then we can talk about some of that because I know you have a list. I'd rather talk all of them through. So that's why I was like, give me one, and then we'll come back for more later. Talk to the listener about some of the Kobe 6s that are meant to be releasing next year. Did any come to mind?
Yeah, it's some of my favorites are coming. So we have like the All-Star ones, I believe. They're coming back. The 3D ones, both the Lakers and the Hollywood 3D ones are coming back. Those are fire. The breast cancer ones, the KL, those are coming back. The Del Sol ones are coming back. A lot of the Kobe 6s are coming back. So I'm gonna be hooping in Kobe 6s in 2027. Hopefully, if I can get my hands.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. I was like, the next follow-up question is a simple one. Let's estimate. I don't know the full number. I don't know the final number. Let's estimate for, random number. Let's say 8 Kobe 6s come out next year. Random number. How many of them do you plan on hitting a dub on?
At least one.
At least one.
I'm going
you said 0?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I haven't hit in like the last 15 releases. I don't think I'm gonna hit in the next 8.
You know what's funny is Aamir told me about the sneakers algorithm, his belief in the sneakers algorithm. So now I'm stuck. I'm not kidding you. I literally wake up and I just go after sneakers I don't even want, in the hope that I accumulate more L's to where I'll get lucky one day and get a dub on a sneaker I give a fuck about.
All right,
let me just go get an L real quick because I know I'm gonna catch it anyway.
Let me explain this theory, okay? Once Nike Sneakers recognizes you as a person who spends a certain amount of money, aka you get a certain amount of dubs, you get higher prioritized into their algorithm. Therefore, once you get momentum and you start to get dubs, you start to get more dubs. That's the way it works, bruh. You just got to pay your dues. That's all it is.
This is a
Look,
theory. This is a theory.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there any
I have
evidence
been
behind this
paying
theory,
dues
or-
for a year and a half.
I've heard this from
Hey.
other people too, though. I've heard of people
When am I getting
buying
in?
sneakers just to return them over and over and over and over. So
why can I not have a little bit of hope? Okay, like the Grinches are right around the corner, and I have hope. So fuck y'all. Okay.
I mean, look, that's
the
fair.
theory will work.
That's fair.
But we're all gonna be on the app Thursday morning.
Oh, we all will.
Oh yeah.
I'll be on my
I'ma
phone,
text
the
all
girl's
of y'all.
phone, my mom's phone, my dad's phone. We're gonna try it. I'm still gonna take it out, like I talked about earlier. I'm still gonna be mad about it. So Twitter, be ready, because I'm gonna be pissed about it on Christmas Eve, which is fucked on Nike's part to release a shoe that they know we're not gonna get and still be mad about on Christmas Eve.
They're
I feel like
also
that's a
called the Grinches. So
It's a little fucked. That's
That's
How
very
appropriate.
true. That's very true.
also fair. Well, Aamir, talk to me. 2021. It's a good year for sneakers. What do you think? What's one that you're looking forward to?
So I missed out on the first 3 versions of the sneaker. So the Air Jordan 1 Shattered Backboard 4.0
I love
is
it.
scheduled to come out in July, hopefully. I just have loved every pair. It seems that they always come out in a time in which I'm really not keeping up with sneakers like that. And then by the time that I guess that I catch the vibe or see them or whatever, it's already too late. They're already way too much. So hopefully I'll be able to get my hands on a pair. I just love everything about the colorway, the orange, the way it pops, the black, and of course Air Jordan 1s are Air Jordan 1s. What else can you say about it? So hopefully I can get my hands on this pair.
I could have given you the 3.0s. I didn't like those. I bought them. I saw them in person. I was like, no, thank you.
Bro, I almost bought the mids. That's how serious it is.
Ooh. That's rough, my guy.
that's excessive.
That's rough.
bro.
Hey, look,
And when
at
it's
least,
dry season, you go mid. And that's the only time.
at least from a respectable standpoint, the feeling that you're willing to go that far to get a colorway that you like, I respect that. I do. I genuinely do. Maybe others don't, but I definitely
Me
do.
too. But go for the lows, not the mids.
But the mids are cheaper. You get more shoe and it's cheaper. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Cost analysis.
That is the most brown way to look at it, and I can't fault you for that. It's a good price. It's worth it.
Yeah, it's a good price. Exactly.
Alikhan, 2021. What sneaker are you looking forward to, my guy?
All right, man. So I want to start by saying that, Jordan 1s have become very popular in the last couple of years, right? We've all seen it. They've become even more of a staple than they already were, while simultaneously becoming a bit saturated. And, I really like to stick to the classics when it comes to 1s. So, I have a few pairs, but one pair of 1s I'm really looking forward to, and I doubt I'll ever even wear them, but I really want them. They're the Chinese New Year 1s. Those are fresh. What do you got?
Those, yes, those are
Yeah.
so sick.
We talked about this the other day, Save.
Did we? Well, I guess we did offline, but dude, those are sweet. Can you describe it a little bit since K's won't?
Kays can chime in right after I do to give you guys a more clear
No, the
description.
fuck he can't.
So like the whole silhouette is basically like a traditional, Chinese design, with like a lot of gold and red and a lot of, different kind of structures and designs and, the fabric. So it looks like a Chinese dress.
Nice.
So that's what the Chinese New Year 1s look like.
Listener, look them up. You'll understand. They are very, very, very nice, and I'm sure they will be highly coveted. They're lows, if I'm not mistaken, Alikhan, right? They are lows, right?
Yeah, they are lows, yeah.
Yeah. I think that almost makes them a little bit better to me.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know if that design would look as good on a high, but Jordan has done like Chinese New Year-ish stuff in the past. But for me, Sean, I'm gonna steal one from you, but I have 2 answers because I know this is on your list because I feel like I've either heard you talk about it or seen you talk about it somewhere. So the first one is the Air Jordan 1, neutral gray. They come out in April. They come out in April. They are a basic ass colorway, like literally white and like light gray.
I love that.
But the fact that they're so basic, they will go with damn near anything you wear. They're also a high, but they're a high. They're like a Jordan 85 high. So they're higher than what you normally would expect from a Jordan high. I've said high like 9 times now. I realize this, but they're a super nice shoe. This is one that I hope Jordan Brand will over release, in the hopes that this becomes a shoe that we can just wear and not care about, because it feels like a shoe that I should just be able to wear to Walmart, for example, and not cry about it. Sean looking at me like, no way, dude. Love that.
Yeah,
You
wear your
really
shoes
talk about
anywhere
wearing
and
shoes to
everywhere you want.
Walmart like you don't own a pair of slides.
I don't like wearing slides in public. Actually, it's kind of weird about me. I know I'm very few on that, but I'm just not a big slides guy like that. But and then the other one that I don't know if is on. I don't know. I got a feeling, Alikhan, you're digging this one. But the Jordan 5 Raging Bull, it's quite literally an all red suede. That's a shoe that came out, I believe I was either early high school or like late middle school.
Yeah.
And I really wanted it back then. And by the way, they sat on shelves back then. Like you could dead ass walk into a Foot Locker and pick them up. Then they were really re-released a few years later when Jordan did those 23 packs where it'd be like a 5 and an 18 in a pack to equal the number 23. And I almost got my hands on them then too, but I wasn't as big a sneakerhead, didn't have as much money back then. But that's a shoe that's coming out also in April that I look forward to next year. Sean, I'll come back to you.
I actually got something to say about those. I think you'll be able to get them pretty easily because I feel like that's an old head shoe.
You might be right.
That's like the same thing as all the other like Jordan retros that released this year, which back in the day, like on ATATF, like it was like people would pop off of those shoes. And the Raging, I specifically remember the Raging, but like there was like this like beat up pair that was in my size, but it was like 150, like beat up. I was like, man, this might be a good deal. I might pop off.
I mean, that's a legitimately awesome colorway. My only fear, the only reason why I think they'll sell out is because it's an all red colorway. Red is just a really popular colorway with Jordans, with shoes generally. And so for that reason, I'm concerned they'll be gone. But if they're not, I'm more than happy to grab them for retail. I'll gladly take those at retail.
You just might catch some dub in 2021.
Yeah. All right, Sean, I'm going to come back to you before we wrap it up. I know there's probably one or two I didn't hit that you're looking forward to. You want to bring us in on any of those?
You said, oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to come back to me. No, I mean, the neutral gray was way at the top of the list. I just had to get my Kobe fix and bring those up because I know a lot of us agree with that. I actually didn't know you were going to bring up the neutral grays, so I'm really looking forward.
I feel like I've seen you talk about the neutral grays maybe on Twitter or something. And so I saw him. I liked him when they were first announced. And I was like, I have a feeling Sean's going to bring him up, so I'll put him second on my list. And then if he doesn't, I'll bring him up, and then he'll put a smile on his face, and he'll want to talk about him.
Yeah, no, it'll work. It worked. No, I think what's that?
No, I'm excited to see that Jordan 11 Adapt or whatever that they're doing. Like they have that white platinum colorway, which is so ass. But I want to see them do a different colorway next year. Like imagine if they did an actually respectable colorway. I feel like it could actually be a decent shoe.
It's not the colorway, bro. It's the silhouette. The silhouette is off. The whole silhouette is off.
I don't feel like it's that off. I don't know. I don't know.
They look like
They
look like those fusions, bro.
They're clunky because of the battery. Otherwise, they wouldn't be looking as clunky. Jordan 11s naturally are slightly a clunkier shoe, in that sense anyway. And then you put a big ass battery and technology through the whole shoe, and it's gonna look a little clunky. It is what it is.
I gotta wear my mask. I ain't got time to lace my shoes up and shit. Like I can do this shit on an app, bro. Come on, priorities.
When that technology becomes cheaper and more affordable for the average person to wear, then it will become something that people will be more inclined to. But if you're paying $400 for self-lacing shoes and that's all they do, I think that's really hard for people to come around and adapt that technology, which is why those BB Adapt basketball shoes, you can usually get them on sale now. You can get them for literally half off on Nike.com. And so a lot of those just sit for that reason. It's just they're too expensive to start with. But Sean, talk to me. What else?
Let's see. So we briefly touched on the LeBron South Beaches and Sprite colorways that's coming back. I was personally super hyped for those. The Sprite ones, that was like that wasn't the Sprite ones because there was the V2, the Sprites and the Solar Reds, both that were like super popping back then. I think it's the Sprite ones that's coming back. I'm pretty stoked for those, and I just might hoop in them. Who knows? Just to flex on my college friends.
Hashtag wear your shoes, people.
Hashtag
Rock
wear
don't
your
stop.
Wear
shoes.
your
Bro.
shoes.
Please wear
Wear
your
your
shoes. Bro.
shoes.
If they sit and sell them, it is what it is. They sit and sell them. Everything on there has been worn except for a few, but that's a different story. I haven't decided whether I want to sell them or not. But wear your shoes, even if it's to Walmart. But
Ouch.
apart from
Like that was a shot and I didn't like it.
no, I'm all for wearing shoes to Walmart. Flex to Walmart, bro. We're in a time where we got to do whatever we can to like feel good, and
That's
if that
fair.
means wearing some ones to Walmart, wear some ones to Walmart.
That's fair.
I'm
That's
all
fair.
for that. But if get your groceries somewhere else though, don't go to Walmart if you got your groceries. go somewhere else. Their meat quality is subpar, but apart from that, the grocery store, wear your ones.
Yo, Sean, as Master Kobe, if you pay resale on, I don't know, Bruce Lee's, Grinch's, you're dropping 400 or 500. Are you about to hoop in those?
No, because I'm not paying that much for it.
It's not
if I get it for 200, I'll hoop it.
I believe
But
wholeheartedly.
the extra 200 is where you draw that line.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
That's a
That's
big
fair.
difference.
I think
There's
that's
a
fair.
big difference between retail and resale.
Hey,
Don't-
we got 600 coming, bro. We straight.
You know, I look forward to the time in which Kobe's will once again become a shoe that I can walk and just buy them at the Nike store. And I don't think we're that far away from it. Probably 12 to 18 more months away from the hypebeast getting off of those and realizing that's a shoe for the fans, for the people that will wear them. Hopefully. Or maybe there's no good things left. I don't know. We'll hope for the best.
There's just no way to sell Kobe's just to people who care about him, right? That's just not like a feasible thing to accomplish, right? You can't just be like, oh, you've bought a Kobe jersey in the past, so you get exclusive access to these sneakers.
Nike make 10 million pairs, and then those that want them will get them, and the resellers will leave it alone because they'll realize it's overdone in the market.
See, there we go. That's something we could do.
Well, let's kill the resale market. Nike doesn't make money off of that shit anyway, but that is an issue for another episode.
I
Thank
couldn't
you
even
guys
get
for
the Kobe
joining.
jersey, so still salty.
Thank you all for joining the Waterboy and Equipment Manager podcast. It has been fun, and we'll do this again next year, a year in review of 2021 sneakers. But in the meantime, listener, thank you for listening. We'll see you next week. Merry Christmas. See ya!
Bye.
Bryant for the win. Bang! Kutzke for three. You got